Lab notes. Unboxing the Titan, the bean, and then setting it up. Let's open up the box for this first. Let's see. At the top we've got the bean quick start guide. All right, we're gonna need that. This guy here, which I'm not gonna need. Get rid of that for now. And then, all right, let's see what we got in this box. Let's put the quick start guide up here. I don't think I'm gonna need this knife anymore. We've got, okay, so this is the extender, which I think I don't need for now. I think I have a network cable somewhere. And then we're gonna need to get this guy out. All right. And then the bean itself come out. And let's put this over here. And then another box here. Is there anything else in here? Nope, that's it. So let's put this guy back in here. Let's get rid of this. And let's take a look at what we have here. All right, what's in this box? Oh, all right. Green resin. Engineering hard resin. Engineering tough resin. Power supply. All right. Whoa, there's still something else in here. Whoops. Okay. Bracket. Resin tank. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So there was a guy on the forum who indicated that they broke off because it looks like these are very, very precisely injection molded. But in order for this to sit flush, and this is a problem I've had previously with designing my own resin tanks, is that in this corner here, doesn't have any strain relief. Alright, so gonna have to be careful of that. Let me put this up like this. There's the Titan 1. And then scraper. I've got a gazillion of these now since, hey look, Octave Light, Titan 1, now the bean. Plenty of stuff to scrape. All right, I'll put that aside for now. Let's get rid of these. This over here. All right, let's unbox. Let's take a look at this. Bean quick start guide. Clean area with air circulation. Yeah, don't use alcohol to clean the cover. Don't touch the panel with, okay. Good. All right. Okay, get rid of this. Now this printer is nice, small and light. All right, let me get this back up here. And then Alright, let's figure out where the unwrapping starting point is. Up here. Alright, looks like I can do it this way. Alright. Alright. Get rid of that. Okay, let's get this upright again. What is this? Oh, that's some USB running over to my other printers. Okay. I see. I see. Okay. Not bad. And then we got some extra Teflon film here. Quite a lot of sheets. I'll put that over here along with the extra resin tank sitting on top of my Titan 1. Oops, still a piece of tape back here. Let's get rid of this. Put that there for now. And conceptually, there we go. Okay. All right. Next, let's get a little more light here. All right. Okay, quick start guide. Oh, nice. Okay, so, all right. Please check any items on the list. Refer to the Wi-Fi repeater manual. Set up the repeater. All right. Do I want the repeater? See if I have my Ethernet cable coming in from somewhere. Where is that orange cable going? One end. And the other end is... Where? Where is that orange cable? Oops. There we go. Okay, so I've got an Ethernet cable for now. I think I'll use it just to quickly set this guy up instead of using the repeater. So let's see what we need here. We're gonna need Ethernet, which I'll plug in here. And then we need, so I've got power run up here, which is not a problem. But all right, I'm gonna have to, let's see, this is gonna plug in here. I think we're gonna have to put this guy up here. And then let this hang down. Or something. Put this somewhere where it's not. Not gonna interfere. All right, let's do this. And then let this guy come down on this side and then connect up. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm in wired Ethernet here. Plug in power supply, press the power button, and wait for a minute for the Pi to boot up internally. Okay, nice. All right, meantime, I want to go grab a laptop. Do I want to fire this guy up? Kind of want to fire this guy up. All right, forget that. I haven't turned this tablet on in a while, so I'll quickly go grab a laptop. Okay, we're back. Let me give you a quick rundown of what happens. You can see that basically as soon as I turned on the Kudo3D, it goes and picks up a DHCP address. So you can see here, this is my router. And we can see here that, whoops, let's sort by start here, that this hostname Kudo3D came up. So that's pretty much its DHCP lease name, and it's also broadcasting bonjour, probably avahi. So on my network, what happens essentially is all I need to go is http://kudo3d, and then bam, I enter in into the user interface. So let's continue on with the functional test. So we enter this into the browser, and then we use the up arrow button to move the build platform up 100 millimeters. Oops. All right, so I got to go to control, and then use the up arrow button to go 100, and there we go. I see, so there's an optical end stop in here. You can see that it's glowing now, that there's nothing in there. So there's an optical end stop, it seems, and then that senses the bottom, which is pretty good. The older machines, the Titan 1 here, for instance, has no stops. It's purely virtual. And then other devices around the same vintage as the Titan 1 go with, like, you have an end stop at the top and then you go down a measured amount to measure 0. This one here has a stop at the bottom, and then I think we do a calibration sequence at the bottom. So, okay. Use the up arrow button to move the build platform up 100 millimeters. And then let's load test.zip. And there's a convenient button here. Let me increase the zoom here for you guys. Let's see if this works zoomed in. So we then hear load test.zip. Load. All right, so there's a little mouse over there. All right, so that's gone on. And then we want to go back to the print menu. We're going to be printing in basic mode. And let's hit the print button and see if the LCD lights up. So we're printing dry right now. There we go. LCD turns on. Fan went on. Let me get rid of the green cover so that you guys can see a little better. Let's put this away for now. Okay. Yeah, so print lights up. And then what's going on here? All right, I'm gonna have to zoom back out here. Oh, I see. This is just testing the backlight. Okay. And see if the LCD lights up. Press the print button, check the LCD lights up. So yes, it does, and it seems to be glowing. So, there we go, and then it turns off. It's doing a lift sequence. And then it's going again. Okay, anyway, so this works fine. Let me cancel this guy out. The backlight's still on. Stuck in the middle of a print. Backlight is on. I probably do not want to just pour resin in right now. Oh, I see. Yeah, when you cancel, I see, no, there's nothing wrong with the cancel. It's just that it's got to cancel at the end of the exposure sequence, and the exposure time here is set to 55 seconds. Okay, so that's it. We're canceled out. Next, your first model. Pour in green or black resin about 10 millimeters high, press the home button, then load the rook. Okay. You don't want to shake this too violently. But oh, nice. It's got a double lid. Excellent. Very neat. All right. Pour in the green or black resin, about 10 millimeters high. Press home, and then load the rook. All right. Alright, that's about 10 millimeters high. Paper towel. Oh. Okay. So we've got that going. Let me close this guy back up. Oh. All right. Press. All right. Pour in. Press the home button. All right. So let's go back to control. Let's home this guy. Yes. Make sure there's no part here yet, because otherwise you'll punch through. And then load the rook.zip. Oh, I see, it knows that it's loaded. Good. And then press the white, black, green, right? So that's what I want to do. I don't need the advanced settings, because I'm using their resin. Okay. And then press print to start printing. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. So there's the preview of the layer in the software. And now, of course, down here, I can't really see anything. See, we're starting here with a 70-second exposure time and then working our way down. I think I just heard the release. So, although it's a little bit less obvious than on the Titan 1. Alright, what are the sounds here? So definitely the sound of a relay going off when it turns on the lamp. Sorry for the gap there. Camera overheated for a moment because I was charging and shooting at the same time. So let's go through it. Let's listen for what sounds we get. So I'm currently on layer 3 right now. Ah, there's the release. So that's interesting. The release here is mostly tensioned against the film. You hardly see any movement in this guy, even though there is PSP action. The pull up from there is small enough that it's mainly the film deformation that's releasing. Which I guess is not a huge surprise given the size of this rook, although we'll have to see if I print some really big stuff. How different that might be. I'm not quite sure what this is. Put this aside for the moment. Not sure if you saw that. You could see when the part released from the film, there was a... You could see that the resin level dropped slightly. There was a slight twitch in the resin surface, and the resin level seemed to drop, probably because it's pulling up and it's deforming the film, which is of course reducing the volume of the tray a bit, and that causes the level to rise. And then when it releases, I guess the film then gets flat again. That then pulls the resin back down, and then we go down. Alright, let me set this up on a tripod now for time-lapse. It's head mounted right now. And catch the rest of this. Okay, so I've got the tripod set up now, so the camera's now fixed and stationary. We can see a view of the computer screen a bit, as well as a decent angle of the beam while it's printing.
I doubt I'll need all of the Z height. Basically, I'm up to the top here. I doubt this rook is so tall. So I may have to come back and readjust the position. I'm going to let this go for a couple of layers so you can pick up the sounds, right? The relay sounds, the sounds of the stepper going up, down, any perturbations in the resin at the top. That'll give us some clues as to whether release is happening. Right, release just happened. This resin is pretty nice because it's clear from the top, so we can see a bunch of the wave action as we print. And all of this is for hints. You don't want to have to wait 6 hours and see that a print failed. You want to be able to pick up on these small hints as to whether or not your print is succeeding or not. Like this point, no perturbation, but we know that the z-axis is going up. And so at that point then, you know that the film must be stretching. And then when there's a sudden release, that pop-off, then you'll see the resin move in a non-continuous manner, whereas the z-axis is still going up continuously, and that means something must be happening at the bottom of the vat. Right there. So that's interesting because, of course, with the Titan 1, with the PSP, it's pretty obvious because the acrylic vat flaps up and down. It'll make this flapping sound whenever it releases. So you'll know whether or not a print failed, because if that flapping sound stops, then you know that you've got no adhesion. Here you have to look a little bit more closely, but you can still spot it. All right, so this is continuous motion. There we go. Right, at that point there, that's when something must be releasing from the bottom. Now, at that point, when you see something released from the bottom, right, you don't know, oh, did my part perhaps pop off the build plate, or did it successfully release from the vat? What you know is that the previous layer worked successfully, so it keeps doing that. Then we know that the each successive layer is actually building up a part that's releasing each time. Right? All we know is that, okay, a release action occurred. Whether it succeeded or failed, I won't know to the next one. But of course, if the next one has also a release action, then we know the previous one must have succeeded. All right. Interesting. Okay, let me reposition the camera a little bit lower now that we have this top level angle, so that time lapse we can then see the part coming out. So where are we, layer 30? So we're a little bit over a millimeter, given that we seem to be at 50 micron thickness.
Now, back to movie for the last 90 or so seconds. Looks like we've got 2 more layers. So let's see what this ending sequence looks like. Yeah, we can see now that we're far up, the amount of perturbation is noticeable, but very, very small. There it is. Last layer. Okay, so it looks like it does a lift routine like the Titan 1 does, but ooh, this is slow. This seems a little unnecessary for this sequence here to be so slow. Oh, there we go. I see. It's the performance of the regular layer speed, and then we go at this higher speed for the remainder. Are we going all the way to the top, or just a fixed distance up? Oh, it looks like we're going all the way to the top. Alright, I'll clean this up tomorrow. Okay, back the next day. Ready to deplate this guy. So, workstation is set up a little bit differently. Off camera, I've got the gear that I usually use to clean up prints. So there's a tray here I got from Amazon. I think it's a photo developing tray or something, but it's nice because it's got this lip. I use this to contain resin. A little rack here so objects can drain down. And then the plastic scraper, which I like. This guy here has replaceable blades, and these are, even though they're plastic, they're actually pretty sharp. Although they do need to be replaced, but they're not expensive, and it's worth it. I have this nice handle that's got a great grip, and then I can replace these guys as they wear out and make sure that I don't damage any of the gear that I have. I've also got the tablet up and running now. This is actually a Windows tablet, so it runs regular Windows software. And I've got Chrome pulled up on the Kudo3D interface here, and 10 millimeters at a time. Now this is a little tricky. I've done this before a lot on the Titan 1, but you don't want to push this down too far, because if you send this driving the rook into the screen, you're going to mess things up. You might crack the LCD, break the vat, bad things will happen. But I do want to scrape off the resin at the top, and so I'm going to move this down a little bit. I've got this moving at 10 millimeters at a time. And power switch is in the back, so if something bad happens, I'll have to hit the power quickly, but it doesn't look like it. Not sure what that was. Alright, let's wipe this stuff off. This is my favorite silicone scraper. Good for gently getting resin off of stuff. Basically, I'm just going to sweep this as much resin as I can off the plate so it doesn't get all over. Alright, that's good. And then let's get this plate off. So it looks like this whole assembly does come off. I'm going to want to hold on to it, so I'm not exactly sure. Oh, I see. So this comes up and this slides in. So even when I lift this off, there's no chance of it dropping down, which is a little bit different than the way the build plate worked on the Titan 1. You unscrew that and the build plate comes clean off. So it looks like this is a clamping mechanism. Kind of. There is a little plate here. I'm just wondering how repeatable this is. There's a little bit of play. But it seems clear that this is where it goes. So this may be repeatable enough that I don't have to zero again or re-level again. Alright, so we've got this out. Now let's scrape some of this excess resin off. The more I can get back into the vat, the better, because it's progressively more and more difficult to reclaim resin later on in the process. Returning it straight to the vat now, great. If it drips down in here, then the amount of recovery I get will be proportionally less and harder. Okay, so not much left here, which is good. And then I want to scrape it off. So let's see, what's the best way? Probably like this. I just kind of want to see where the this I want to do it the way, because I might put a bunch of force into it, so I want to put it in the orientation where the force I put into it is at least likely to bend the sheet metal. So it seems like maybe this way is the most secure. Okay, so the headlamp is pretty good. You guys can still see whatever I see. So now we can let me turn this light on here for you. Okay, that's a bit better. Oh, okay, so that was pretty easy. There we go. So that's off. Yep, there we go. Okay, so that's good. I can return this. Seems pretty repeatable, so let's see. Alright. And then let's take a look at this rook here, which of course looks shiny now, but that's because there's uncured resin on the surface. Once it's rinsed off, it won't nearly be this shiny, because the surface is actually not like that. So let's rinse this off. Yeah, let me show you the way that I normally do it. So I've got a pan here. Let me line the pan. This is a cut up old sock. I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop it into the ultrasonic bath. Run the switch for. You can see here that the cavitation now is causing the resin to come off. And now this bath in here just contains soap, Dawn dish soap, plus I do have, I think I put citric acid or something in here to prevent it from growing mold. But this process here then minimizes the amount of alcohol that I consume. So let's put that down there for about 10 minutes. And then let's see if there's anything else I need to do here. Got this. Relatively clean, not so much. And then got resin in the vat. So do I want to clean the vat out and see what that's like? Could do that. Yeah, let's give that a shot. While this is going, let's see what this cleanup looks like. There was a funnel in the kit, right? Yep. This is in here. Oh, look, a soft scraper. Oh, I already got one, so that's okay. Oh, these are the locating pins and screws for replacing. Okay, that's fine. For replacing the film. Ethernet cable. And the mini router, which I can deal with. Later. I don't really need this. Alright, so we got the funnel. And, well, alright, let's not use this. Let's do it the way that I normally do. So, I'm not going to use that funnel. How do I normally take care of resin? Let's get rid of this guy. Head over to the bathroom where I've got this. This is what I usually use to strain resin. Normally also, I don't strain resin back into the original bottle. I usually strain resin back into a labeled secondary bottle. And I have a bunch of clean bottles. Alright. I'm gonna... Yipes. Breach of protocol. Let's put it back in here. Alright, let's see what it looks like to get resin out of this guy. I can loosen that. Oh, I see. So these metal things provide strength. So actually, even though the tabs... So that's why these are so stiff. Alright, so let's take these off. Interesting. So with this down, very little play. All right, let's dump the resin out first before we mess with this. So let's see here. I see some locating pins. All right, so let's get this off. I see. Probably should not be doing this while I'm holding it like this. Alright. Alright, let me put this down for a moment. Let's set this guy up here. So this is not super stable. This bottle's a little on the small side. Usually it's pretty stable, but Alright, I'm gonna need to find a better process for this. For these tiny bottles, because this this coffee filter thing is a bit small. Drainage is a bit slow on the bottom. Okay. I would like to get this a little bit cleaner because, of course, everything that I leave behind here, if I were to switch resins, I'm particularly going from, say, a dark color to a light colored resin, I might need to actually flush this thing. And then anything that's left that I don't get rid of this way, I'm going to have to sweep up using alcohol or something. And so the less I have to flush, the better. All right, the more I get back in the bottle, the better. Second best into the rag, third best flush down the drain, which is the least desirable. All right, so that goes back in there. And then if I look back here, I see, so there are these locating holes. These locating pins are small. Gotta be careful not to force it. Okay, that goes back. So we can seat that back there, and then put these two bolts back on. And now I just want to see. Yeah, so it's not super stiff. There can still be motion here. I see what those will do is what these things will do is they'll prevent the deflection from exceeding a certain amount. So I can deflect up to here, and this thing really stomps me. So that'll prevent over deflection where it might snap off the bracket. So there's a little bit of clearance here. So I can do this. And even though this isn't very hard, this is less tension than in the Titan 1's PSP vats. Even on the attachment layer, we didn't see any deflection here. At least any noticeable visible deflection. It seemed to all be from flex or something. So, interesting. Okay, that's good enough for now. Let's close this up. Okay, and then we can home this guy. Make sure there's no resin below the platform. All right, let's proceed. All right. All right. Let's put this away. Let's get the part out, rinsed off. That's done. And then I'll let me flush this with a little water. I'll flush this guy with a bit of IPA. Oh, interesting. Oh, no, never mind. There's a drain hole down here. And there's a little bit of uncured resin trapped on the inside part. That's an interesting nuance. Yeah, if I were to design this, I wouldn't have designed it with just one hole here. I would have designed it with 2 holes, because then what's happened is leftover resin can't easily drain out. But that's, I mean, it's not a problem with the printer. It's more of a design issue with the Maker Rook. So, whatever. Yeah, so it's possible through air pressure to gradually squeeze this out. Oof. Right. And then all right. Okay. Done. Oh, I didn't watch it. I could have crushed something, letting it go back to 0 without watching. Well, I mean, not really would not have, but... Okay. So that's suction force. So that probably happens then because the lift speeds are set pretty slow. You could probably still take advantage of that passive peeling if you wanted to run the machine faster. So that'll be something to experiment with. So here's the Rook. Let me take the gloves off. Yeah, so their resin is pretty good. It's not noticeably tacky, even though I haven't done any UV post-curing. I mean, which is good because UV post-curing can't really get... What it'll do is it'll firm up the innards. But unless you do like a water soak or whatever other techniques, it won't get rid of surface tackiness, which happens in some lower quality resins. But actually this Kudo3D resin is pretty good. The surface tackiness is pretty much non-existent. So there it is. The Maker Rook. In the quality one would expect for a resin printer on the Bean, which is a nice small compact machine for these smaller parts. Definitely easier to run, or at least less space. It leaves more space to work with compared to the Titan 1 for a lot of these smaller parts. Good.